Okay, word problems. Here we go. So these are some steps that I always like to follow. First step is list what you know. Read the problem and list what you know. What did they tell you? List what you don't know. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? And then create an equation and then solve it and write your answer in a sentence. This is key. When we have a word problem, I want to see your answers in a sentence. Okay, in order to get full marks. So let's take a look. So Callie borrowed $19 from her brother. Okay, I'm going to highlight this. Whoops, because this is important. $19 from her brother. The next day, she paid back $3. So she paid back $3 to pay off the rest of the debt. She will give him $4 a week to pay off the rest of the debt. How many weeks will it take her to pay off the debt? So we're looking for how many weeks. Okay, so let's write out. So what do we know? Well, we know Callie borrowed $19. So the total number that she borrowed, so total borrowed is $19. The next day, she paid back $3. So she's already given back $3. So she's paid back $3. To pay off the rest of the debt, she will give him $4 a week. Okay, so $4 a week. So her plan, I guess we could say, her plan is $4 each week, or each week we could do multiplied by W. So we could say $4 each week, or we could do $4 times the number of weeks that she is going to take to pay back the amount. So 4W. Okay, so how many weeks will it take her to pay off the debt? So we are, in fact, looking for this variable of weeks. We're looking for how many weeks it will take her to pay off the debt. So let's set up an equation. So we know the total that she borrowed is 19, right? So let's write this out here. 19 is the total, and she needs to pay this back. And so what she's done is she's already paid 3, and then we're going to add her $4 a week each time. So this is what it's going to look like in order for her to pay back the $19. And now you can see this looks familiar to the two-step equations we were dealing with. So the first step to solve this is we're going to look at what's being added here, which is a positive 3, and we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So these will cross each other off, and then 19 minus 3 equals 16. So we will get, our new equation is 16 equals 4W. And let's divide this by 4 because we were multiplying. Divided by 4. These are going to cancel. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. So weeks, it's going to take her 4 weeks to pay it back. So I'm not done here because I have the answer, but I need to put it in a sentence because it's a word problem. So I can say it will take Callie 4 weeks to pay her brother back. Okay? So that is my answer there, okay? I want to see your answer in a sentence. So that is kind of how we approach word problems. Now I have one more I want to walk you through quickly. This one is from the extend portion. So this is definitely a more challenging one, but let's take a stab at it here. So Michaela walked at 2 kilometers an hour for 2 hours. Then she cycled at x kilometers an hour for 3 hours. If the average speed for the whole journey was 3 kilometers an hour, how fast did she cycle? Give your answer to the nearest tenth of a kilometer per hour. Okay, so let's see. What do we know? We know when she was walking. Walking, it was 2 kilometers an hour for 2 hours. Okay, so 2 kilometers an hour for 2 hours. Okay, when she was biking or cycling, it was x kilometers an hour at 3 hours. Okay, so we are looking for this x. It gave us the x already, so this is what we're looking for. Okay, and then the total journey, her average speed was 3. So I'll just say total her speed was 3 kilometers an hour. And her total journey was how long? Well, it was 2 hours, right? Plus 3 hours, because she was biking for 3 hours and she was walking for 2. So 2 plus 3 is 5, right? So 5 hours. So the 5 came from 2 hours plus 3 hours equals 5 hours for our total journey. Okay? So now let's see if we can set up an equation for this. So what I would do is I would combine this to figure out our distance that she was going. So 2 times 2, so walking was 4. Okay. Biking is x times 3. So we don't know what that is. So this is our walking speed, right? And so we have x times 3, or we could do 3x. So this is biking. Okay, so let's just see this here. Walk. And this is bike. Okay. And then the total is 3 times 5, which is 15. 15 in total. Okay. Total. So I'm essentially using, if you don't know where I got these numbers from, I am multiplying these and getting 4. This one we can't multiply because we have a 3 and an x, and this is 3x. And in this case, 3 times 5 equals 15. I'm using these numbers. Okay, so now we have an equation, 4 plus 3x equals 15. That looks familiar to us. So let's solve this equation. So first step is we'll locate what we're adding. So in this case, we're adding 4. So we're going to subtract 4 from here and subtract 4 from this side. So these will cancel each other out. And we will be left with 3x equals 15 minus 4 is 11. Okay. And then now we need to do our dividing. So let's divide this side by 3 and divide this side by 3. The same thing. Cancel that out. And we're left with x equals 11 over 3. Now, if we use our calculator and do 11 divided by 3, we are trying to give our answer to, you'll see in the question here, it says give your answer to the nearest tenth, okay, of a kilometer per hour. So in this case, we get our answer of 3.7 is the nearest tenth. Okay, kilometers an hour, and this is going to be our answer. But we're not done because we have to put it in a sentence. So if average speed for the whole journey was 3, how fast did she cycle? So we can say Michaela cycled at 3.7 kilometers an hour. And this is the answer of our question. So I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, send me an email.